Good evening, everyone, and welcome here for Indianapolis for the Indy 250 for the 16th race of the 2022 season. Dylan Schwellenberg has knocked off Jake Bassinger in the championship standings by 6 points. Dylan Schwellenberg leads over Jake Bassinger. DJ Curtis scored his second win of the season at Chicagoland and closed that points lead down to only 9 points back to Dylan Schwellenberg. Top three in the points are so separated by such a slim margin. Then you got to go back to Cody Lamas, Matthew Rodriguez, Alex Pignaco, Dejon Weeks, Richard Johnson, Eric DeMax, James Shelly. That's your top 10 in the Drivers' Championship, as after this race, it'll be 10 races to go to deciding the 2022 champion for this season. Turner Performance Racing are on roll coming into Indianapolis. 4 drivers for Turner Performance Racing. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the qualifying order. Dylan Young announced that he'll be driving for Spartan Motorsports in the 2023 season. He takes pole position. Dylan Young needs this kind of run this afternoon and gain some credibility back. He's got some momentum on his side, getting a chartered ride for next season's 2023 season. The entire top 10 in the starting grid is stacked with a lot of championship favorites, but the front 2 rows are nothing but Turner Performance cars, and they could be a threat for today's race. Let's get down to start this one. Getting ready to roll off. It's the Indianapolis 250. It's one of our special events that will run all season long. Dylan Young is a past Indianapolis winner, and Jesse Turner alongside, looking to etch his name into the Brickyard here at Indianapolis. Indianapolis and Darlington are part of the Triple Crown events for the Sony Cup Series. The Daytona 500, Indianapolis and Darlington are some of the biggest events that we'll do all season long as the field starts to spread out. This is one of the most dangerous tracks we have on the schedule. The cars will go around this track going about 200 miles an hour. This track always gets people's butterflies a-going. Open wheel territory right here at Indianapolis. The holy grail of motorsports is Indianapolis. But now today, for stock car racing, the 42-car grid is set with Sony Cup Series drivers, some of the best we have on the grid. If you're a winner at Indianapolis, you'll be remembered as one. It's Turner Performance Racing. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and Dylan Young taking pole position for the first time this season. He has not had the fortune as his teammates have. Jake Bassinger's led the championship standings in every race this season except this one, and he's looking to take it back after 100 laps are done. We mentioned about the Brickyard and the Southern 500 coming for next season. Indianapolis will go from the Indy 250 to the Brickyard 400 for 2023. And same with Darlington. Instead of 150 miles at Darlington, we'll do the Southern 500 miles there, just to show how important the Triple Crown races are. The second race of the Triple Crown is now, and we're going green. Dylan Young brings us to green. In the drivers' meeting, the FBRL officials told these drivers they want the field to be spread out on the restarts. That's why you see such big gaps. Oh, look at Curtis in the 19 to the inside. James Shelly, the one-time performance driver that did not fare very well on the start. He got kicked up high and is getting dropped a few places. Jesse Turner's looking to pass Dylan Young, but Young's got the run the outside, and Dylan Young leads lap 1 here at Indy. But into turn 1, Jesse Turner easily clears Young. And DJ Curtis going to try and follow through. DJ Curtis, 3rd in the point standings, leaning on Turner. And DJ Curtis, after winning at Chicagoland, tons of momentum on that side for Cybertron Motorsports. Dejon Weeks finished dead last at Chicagoland. All of his momentum evaporated at Chicagoland. The summer break MER seemed poised to try and come back strong in the second half of the season, but did not fare well. 2 DNFs, the only DNFs at Chicagoland. Him, Dejon Weeks, and Richard Johnson out of the race with engine failures. They're hoping they fix that problem today. Ben Yako to the inside of Dejon Weeks. And there's Zayden Davidson, who also started well inside the top 10 for today's race, to the inside of Weeks. Jake Bassinger's there with Davidson. Meanwhile, two of the strongest contenders and drivers of the modern era, Jesse Turner and DJ Curtis. Curtis has won twice this season. Turner has yet to win. Turner, 10-time winner last season, the champion from 2021, has not fared very well in 2022. He's hoping to turn that luck around starting today. Getting his first win of the 2022 season would be big for him. He's chasing Curtis, and Benyako's chasing the both of them. 3 top 10s in the last 5 races for Jeffrey White has put White back on the map for possibly trying to take back that seat for Curtis Racing. As this race is going on, 11 charter rides are still available for next season. And Jeffrey White's car is probably the biggest ride still unavailable and still unfilled for silly season for 2023. And if you're looking to get involved in the Sony Cup Series, join down below in the Discord. Jesse Turner has caught DJ Curtis, and the defending champion has taken the lead. Turner Performance Racing, a lot of people thought that they were going to have a lot of pace and in single car runs for qualifying. They definitely did. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they were much quicker than their opposition. Bassinger passing Benyako. Curtis slides back into second. Jeffrey White passing Dylan Schwellenberg, the championship leader. Schwellenberg qualified in 11th position. He's battling hard against Cody Lamas. Entering the top 10 is Ryan Griffin. Griffin qualified deep in the top 20, and he's making his way into the top 10 now. And a lot of people were very critical of Ryan Griffin in the media when it came to Zachary DiLilio in the meeting after last race at Chicagoland, when the rookie on debut performed inside the top 10 all race long just to finish just outside the top 10. Griffin knows he has to step it up. He's running a part-time schedule for the remainder of the season, racing here at Indianapolis and a couple of other races this season. Don't know what his plans are after today and after this season, but many people expect for him to be in a reserve driver role for CM Racing for next season. He's battling hard, trying to prove himself today. Kev Shear in the 93 in the gray stuff nearly hit the wall off of turn 2. But Kev Shear has a tall task ahead of him. The 2021 champion for the Hardee's National Series has a job to do today. That 93 car needs to try and make up points on Anjato's number 80. The Edward Ziemba got that 80 car in the top spot for owner points in the part-time entries. And now the 93 and the 63, who are second and third of the part-time cars in owner points, well, they want to make up as much points as possible. That 93 is running out of entries that they can do for the remainder of the season. That 63 has a few more starts left to go in them. Blake Warren in the 63 for this afternoon. He didn't qualify all that well. He's down in the 30s. Back up front, DJ Curtis is getting a challenge for the lead. Curtis had passed Jesse Turner for the lead down in turn 1, only for Turner's teammate Jake Bassinger to try and challenge back. We have a 6-horse race for the lead. And Curtis, I think, is going to try and shut the door on Jake Bassinger. DJ Curtis, he's got a ton of momentum on his side, but he thinks better of fighting this aggressively against Bassinger at this stage of the race. Bassinger's going to take the lead. Now, remember, Jake Bassinger, already a winner of the Triple Crown events for this season. He won the Daytona 500, and from there, led the championship standings every race. Man, Jeffrey White really messed with DJ Curtis there. White is very competitive today, and same with Lamas. Curtis Racing and Alex Benyako for CM Racing. Look at Griffin further back. The Chevys having a great race pace for this afternoon. We're only 10% through this race, 10 laps in, 90 laps to go. Jesse Turner, outside pole sitter trying to take the lead back from Bassinger. Jeffrey White getting aggressive. He's up into the podium positions. A great day so far early on by Jacob Hart in the 61 ride. A lot to cover, a lot of great action. this video may turn out to be a little longer than usual because Indianapolis is a scary track to race on. A lot happens, and danger is lurking around every corner. If a car gets turned sideways, you're liable to have an insane wreck. But Jacob Hart in car 61, getting affiliate engines from Turner Performance Racing. Jacob Hart, two-time champion of the series, is into the top 10 for Team Velocity. Team Velocity had a great run at Chicagoland with Peter Onjak, and Jacob Hart, it's his turn today. He's in the top 10. And Ryan Griffin down into turn 3. He's making his way to the front. Griffin trying to rejuvenate his career after the rookie on debut. Ran top 10 all day long. And Griffin now into third. Nothing but Chevys behind Griffin with Lamas, White, and Benyako. Then it's some more Fords, Mercedes as well in there. But Jake Bassinger's out front leading at Indianapolis. There's a driver that has been falling through the field. We haven't even noticed him, but he's just losing positions left and right. This is the Monster Energy racing car of Dejon Weeks. He started up front, and he's all the way down mid-pack. And, well, Dejon Weeks and Dylan Young, for a matter of fact, they've been losing positions. And it's a shame for Dylan Young, because I was thinking he was going to be very competitive for today's race. He always runs very well at Indianapolis. Vince Freeze in the 25, looking to pass Richard Johnson. Johnson as well, struggling with his race car. Matthew Rodriguez for Rodriguez Racing. He's also not looking the most competitive at this point in the race, but it is still very early, and we have a lot of pit stops to go, which means a lot of adjustments will be made on these race cars. It was also announced earlier this week, Chris Dodd will be moving over to CM Racing for next season, and Eric DeMax had announced his ride as well. DeMax in car 0, he'll be going over to the 8 car to replace Alex Benyako, and that 0 will be renumbered to car 3 for next season. So CM Racing has their lineup figured out, and Allen Family Racing Team has been in the news headlines as well. John Art, the 43, all the way back here down in the 30s, or actually down here in 25th position, racing with Kev Shear, Joseph Shrigley, Samuel England. A lot of these guys playing patient right now. Still a long ways to go. Sean Harple, Cole Baker, and a handful of others losing touch with the leaders. Well, the lead keeps changing hands. DJ Curtis is out front again with Jake Bassinger, Lamas, the podium positions with Shelly and Griffin making up the top 5. Jacob Hart is having a great day, and it's great to see a champion of the series running like this. Hart has not had the best season. And, well, Team Velocity's turning their program around a little bit. Doesn't hurt that their Turner Performance engines are running so well this afternoon and very competitive. All the way through the field, all the way back to Marchese, who's losing positions a little bit. James Sorfox in the 34. About 13 cars right here in the mix of this battle. And Dom Capps in the 15, he's also coming to the front. Ryan Griffin fighting back against James Shelly. Some great racing for the lead here at Indianapolis is allowing such a competitive fight at the front of the pack. And look at Jake Bassinger from nowhere. From nowhere. Where did that run even come from? Got back to the gas so much earlier than DJ Curtis. And Jake Bassinger is out front again. Caution flag is out. And Blake Warren has taken a heavy hit. Chris Dodd's also been towed back to the pits. And Warren in the 63 team, they could be finishing dead last this afternoon, which is a shame for them because that 63 team has already made 4 starts this season. This was their 5th start. They've only got 3 attempts left. You see Bobo Jones, Mitchell Collins had damage. There's Matt DeLeo back there. So the last pack at the very back of the field wrecked, and Warren's team are going to be scratching their heads wondering what happened there. So an engine failure by Chris Dodd slowed up the pack, and Blake Warren ran to the back of Kev Shear, who's another one of them part-time entries, and Blake Warren tumbled down the track down in the middle of 1 and 2. Shirley Smith, Daniel Bouchard, Ryan Acosta. It all started when everyone slowed up for the blown-up 44 of Chris Dodd. And a lot of cars with a lot of damage that's going to see a lot of drivers fall out of the race. Here's a replay just out of nowhere. Chris Dodd racing with Samuel England and Nick Mace. The engine expired, and Mason Shear checked up to try and keep from running the back of Dodd. The second pack behind them, man, they could have checked up. Warren ran in the back of Shear, and a big stack up behind them. Think Logan Cloud did a good job to miss that accident there. Will Goss has got a bunch of damage. It looks like Bobo Jones may be out of the race with all that front-end damage. Ryan Acosta with a ton of damage to the National Guard Chevrolet coming back to the restart. Everyone has came down and pitted, got 4 fresh tires, and the race is going to resume. Jake Bassinger is out front over Cody Lamas, Ryan Griffin, DJ Curtis, Jeffrey White, Jesse Tunner, James Shelly, James Sorfox, Dylan Schwellenberg, Anthony Marchese, the top 10. Outside the top 10, let's look at that. Jacob Hart, Dom Capps, Zayden Davidson, Dejon Weeks, Jeff James, Alex Bianco, Dylan Young, Matt Rodriguez, Charles Sanford, and Eric DeMax. The top 20 as the field restarts this race. Let's look at everyone that's also out of the race. And same thing with the Daytona 500. Minimum speed is going to be very key. You may see drivers get black flagged and penalized and taken off the racetrack if they cannot reach minimum speed for today's race. Lap traffic will not be tolerated if they are off the pace. Ryan Griffin looking to the inside of Cody Lamas, trying to take second position. That 3 team is energized. Since the summer break, that 3 car has found some pace. And Griffin bringing the 3 car to the front. Griffin, trying to remember right, Griffin won the 2019 Indianapolis 250. And he lost out to a big battle with Dejon Weeks in 2018. But Griffin knows how to get it done here. Acosta, Bobo Jones, Chris Stott, and Blake Warren all out of the race. Jake Bassinger determined to take the championship lead back from Dylan Schwellenberg today. He leads. Cody Lamas driving it to the inside of Ryan Griffin. Lamas is moving his way up into second position. Dylan Schwellenberg, Anthony Marchese, they are on the move up into 6th and 7th position. They finished 2nd and 3rd at Chicagoland. Rodriguez Racing, very optimistic the second half of the season could favor them in their championship ambitions. Marquez at the inside of Schwellenberg, trying to get the inside of Shelly. Now Griffin slots in behind in 3rd, but Cody Lamas, who has only had 2 top 5s all season long, sits himself right there in 4th in points, a whole race behind Dylan Schwellenberg. And if Cody Lamas can find victory lane and knock off a few great runs in these final 11 races, you never know, Cody Lamas could be in the fight to win his first Sony Cup Series championship. 7 cars under a blanket fighting for the lead on lap 28. As soon as we say that, though, Ryan Griffin powers back and takes that position away from Cody Lamas. Griffin back into P2. Dylan Schwellenberg continuing to work on James Shelly. He might be able to get that position away, but Shelly fighting back on the top. DJ Curtis has now moved his way right on the back bumper of Cody Lamas, trying to get up there for 3rd. Dylan Schwellenberg's been racing against the Turn Performance cars the last couple of laps. Jeffrey White the inside of Turner. Dom Capps the inside of Marchese. What a run by Dom Capps in car 15. Oh, 3 wide nearly. Yes, contact. What a run there by Dejon Weeks. A daring move from the Speed Hunter Challenger. And wow, what a pass. Dejon Weeks' crew made some adjustments on pit stops. He had dropped to as low as 20th in that first run before pit stops. And now, Weeks is into the top 10 again. Matthew Rodriguez in car 9 has yet to really progress any further than 15th in this race. And if you look at where he is in the championship standings, you would believe Matthew Rodriguez to be a realistic championship contender for this race. In the final 11 races, 10 after this one, you have to keep an eye on that Napa, what would usually be a Napa Toyota for the 9. But the Pepsi Camry could be a sleeper for this race. Matthew Rodriguez kind of hanging back there in 16th position. And another, what could be championship contender, is Richard Johnson in the car 47. Took a 41st finish in an engine failure at Chicagoland, needing to step his way back forward in this championship bid. Already a 2-time champion in the series, just like DJ Curtis, looking to score a record-tying third championship this season could be Richard Johnson's season. He's down there in 26, has a long ways to go if he wants a good finish for today. Cody Lamas again going after Ryan Griffin for second position. This time he's going to get it done. And Dylan Schwellenberg, who continues to thoroughly pick his way through the traffic, finds himself in the podium positions again. Now Jake Bassinger enters 6 points behind Dylan Schwellenberg. And for right now, at least, he is 1 point clear, Dylan Schwellenberg. But Schwellenberg's going to deny him with this pass on Cody Lamas. DJ Carter's looking past Griffin. A very bold block by Griffin. Griffin going to pass Lamas as well, back into third. Griffin's really racy today. It's very exciting to see Griffin this fast. Maybe he'll have a comment to say after the race. And he has not been very happy the last couple of years. Well, this could be cause for celebration for the Michigan driver. Well, Dylan Schwellenberg now in second position, finished second at Chicagoland. 6 points ahead of Jake Bassinger. Right now with lead by 1 point ahead of Jake Bassinger in the championship fight. And DJ Curtis, who is third in points, right there in fourth. And then fourth with the points, Cody Lamas is right there in the fifth position. Dejon Weeks continuing to pick his way through traffic as well. They continue to fight and scrap for top 10 positions back there with Jeffrey White and Turner. But Weeks, right in the back end. Look at this pass for the lead. Dylan Schwellenberg on Jake Bassinger. Schwellenberg's going to take the lead for the first time today. Ryan Griffin's going to follow him. Griffin back into second position. And Jake Bassinger's going to fall back into third. Could possibly fall even more. How about Eric DeMax? He's joined this battle. He's in the top 5. Martin Motorsports with Dom Capps and Vince Freeze are 6th and 9th for this race right now. It is Schwellenberg, Griffin, Bassinger, DeMax, and Weeks the top 5. But very quietly, Martin Motorsports is starting to become a big threat in the Sony Cup Series yet again. The second Martin Motorsports 2.0. Don Capps and Vince Freeze leading the charge back for Luke Martin and his race team. Back to the front, consistently running in the top 20 all season long. And, well, Capps and Freeze looking very good in this race, and they've looked very good every race this season. Getting better and better. And, well, this 15 car will be Shade Eves driving for a multi-year contract for Martin Motorsports. Capps will be leaving to go over to Red Bull Racing, replacing Samuel England for the 2023 season. So the old veteran showing that he still got it, and he could be a threat. Remember, Capps was only a front bumper. He was only a couple hundredths of a second away from winning the Daytona 500. So Capps knows how to get it done on these special events. And Bassinger looks hot. Ow, man! Thought that was about to be an accident. Capps knows how to get it done on these special events. Dejon Weeks has moved his way up to third. Eric DeMax is now into second. Top 14 have pulled away. Marchese, Shelly, White, Turner. That's everybody outside of the top from 10th place. And then Benyako, Freeze, Lamas, Curtis, Capps, Griffin, Bassinger, Weeks. Just a lot of good drivers up here inside the top 10, top 14, realistically in the fight. And how about Eric DeMax? This gives me flashbacks to the 2020 Daytona 500 when it was DeMax and Schwellenberg fighting for the win there all by themselves. And DeMax for CM Racing signing a deal to go for 2023 at CM Racing, the lead driver for CM. And Schwellenberg also going over to stay at Rodriguez Racing as well for next season. Contracts continue to be a talking point for this season. A lot of exciting times and exciting stuff to look forward to. But for today's race, what a fight we're watching. Weeks, who had struggled early on, has found himself up in the third again, looking very quick. Griffin back to fifth. Dom Capps challenging to get in the top 5. But Schwellenberg's looking so good out there. He looks like he could take the lead back into turn 3. Vince Freeze is going to try and pass Lamas. Benyako's there in 9th. But no challenge yet for the lead. Maybe in 3. Schwellenberg being very wise, letting DeMax have it. Oh, but I think DeMax might be pitting. Eric DeMax short pitting. Wow, nobody else coming down pit road other than Eric DeMax. There is no word yet that the team has a problem. No flat tire or nothing. This is scheduled. Eric DeMax coming down pit road to change tires. The very next lap later, nobody is coming down pit road. So that very well could have been an odd strategy, to say the least. If the caution comes out, Eric DeMax has put a lap down, and there's nothing he can do about it. So Eric DeMax better hope this cycles out. Meanwhile, back at the front, Dom Capps has moved his way into the podium positions in third place in the top two in the championship. Schwallenberg and Bassinger. Bassinger showing, even though he lost the championship lead, he is still a force to be reckoned with. He's challenging back against Dylan Schwallenberg. If you remember last season, Dom Capps could have won the Indianapolis 250. He was very good that day, and he's very strong today as well. So Martin Motorsports bringing some bullets here to the racetrack. Vince Freeze won at Talladega. There was a restrictor plate event there for Vince Freeze to win. But Martin Motorsports has some fast cars today. Bassinger looking to challenge it against Schwallenberg. Looking at the inside. But Schwallenberg holds him off. One driver I want to note as we close in on halfway in this race, Cal Farrell. Cal Farrell is making his Sony Cup Series debut with Great Lakes Motorsports. And Farrell qualified his way into the field here in Indianapolis. And he's racing with Sean Harple, Zayden Davidson, and Richard Johnson. He's running in 24th position, looking for 23rd. And Farrell is just doing an outstanding job at his Pontiac. Going to the inside of Sean Harple. His teammate Logan Cloud, who missed the accident early on, is just a little few car lengths behind him. But give a call to Cal Farrell. He's been a journeyman driver in the FBRL, trying to work his way through the ranks. He is a Red Bull development driver, loaned on over to Great Lakes Motorsports for this season. He will be returning with that for Red Bull Racing in the Hardy's National Series for next season. A big scrap at the front. Look at this battle at the lead. Dylan Schwallenberg, Jake Bassinger. They are all on top of each other. Look at this battle. Schwallenberg trying to hang on. Bassinger's there. Bassinger has the line. It's going to go to Jake Bassinger. But look at Vince Freeze. Vince Freeze in car 25, the Coca-Cola Cherry Ford, up in his second position. This goes off of what I was talking about. Martin Motorsports on raw pace just has two good cars. And it's very good to see Vince Freeze and Dom Capps running this competitive. Alex Bignacco back in the third. Dejan Weeks, Ryan Griffin. 7 cars in this fight for the lead as we come up on halfway in the race. Jesse Turner leads from 8th place, the second pack. Jeffrey White, Cody Lamas, the top 10. Then it's Shelly, Curtis, and Marchese back to 13th. Lamas to the inside of his teammate. But how about Vince Freeze, the fan favorite? Everyone went crazy for Vince Freeze when he took his win at Talladega. He's looking to take the lead at Indianapolis. Nerves of steel. He ducks back in line. That's going to allow Alex Bignacco to take his shot to go for second position, side by side. Further back off of those main lead pack cars, Dylan Young, the pole sitter, racing with Samuel England. This is 14th and 15th. Then Joseph Shrigley's in 16th position. England trying to slide up in front of Young. Going to take that position away. Shrigley's also going to pass Young. Young Cole Baker has got an opportunity to go race for Flipside Motorsports in the second Flipside car of the 63 that went barrel rolling. Yeah. Baker will be going over to that 63 car. It will be renumbered to car 99, which will essentially be the 99 from this season. If you think about the teams closing down to 2 cars max an organization. Peter Onjak's on pit road, so Mark Carr is now coming down pit road. Cybertron Motorsports will be working closely aligned with Flipside Motorsports again for next season, which that will build only their partnership even more. With Baker over there, which Baker is Cybertron Motorsports' driver, but will be a Flipside driver for next season. Young falling back some more positions. He wants to stay on the TV, I guess. But going through the field, we have Charles Sanford back here in 18th. 19th, John Hart. Jacob Hart was back there, was up front earlier. He's back to 20th. And Matt Rodriguez is down in 21st position. He looks like he has left side damage. Left side damage to Matt Rodriguez's Pepsi car. Yeah, you can see it there. Peter Onjax has a problem in the 66. He has been on pit road for quite some time, and that's a shame because Team Velocity has had some fast cars this weekend, and Peter Onjax coming off of a great run at Chicagoland. We're being told that Peter Onjax had an engine failure, the second engine failure of the day, and he is out of the race. Vince Freeze from second position has came down pit road. John Weeks and Don Capps are going to hit pit road as well. So ever so slowly, everyone's coming down pit road to make their adjustments and pit stops. There should be another pit stop to come after this race. After this one, you know, this is their second pit stop of the day. Should be 3 of them that they'll have to do. Here comes Jake Bassinger, Dylan Schwellenberg, and Alex Bignacco. Ryan Griffin, James Shelly stay out, and here comes the rest of the field on lap 56. Pit stops are starting to cycle out. Here comes John Weeks down the front straightaway. We're looking at him because he's one of the most recent that have pitted. There's Turner, there's Lamas, there's Marchese. Where is the rest of the people that pitted? There is Alex Bignacco. John Weeks is trying to get there to whoever is out in front. There's Dylan Schwellenberg, but there's another car out front, John, and it's Jake Bassinger. Jake Bassinger gets out in front of everyone, but look a little further back. Eric DeMax, remember him pitting very, very early. A very aggressive pit call by CM Racing to come down and pit very early. They should be able to reach their pit window. And I'm not saying they'll be able to make it all the way, but when they pit again, that they should be able to make it on one more pit stop. Same with everybody else. I think everybody will make one more pit stop. So Ryan Griffin, you know, the overcut didn't really work all that well for Griffin. It is Jake Bassinger that is going to be leading the way. Here's the field rundown as we have a 4-car scrap for the lead with 40 to go. The Sony Cup Series teams and drivers know they will have to make one more pit stop to make it on fuel. Last season, we had a 4-car battle for the win between James Shelly, Jesse Turner, Dom Capps, and Dylan Young. Well, none of them other than Dom Capps are in this top 4. Dom Capps just knows how to race here in Indianapolis. He knows how to get himself in position. A great car helps you as well. And Martin Motorsports has brought Capps a great car this afternoon to race on the high-speed tracks of Indianapolis. He's fighting against Dom Capps, or against John Weeks is Dom Capps. Side by side for second position. What a day for Martin Motorsports. Bassinger, Capps, Weeks, Schwellenberg, the top 4. Eric DeMax is 5th. Ryan Griffin 6th. CM Racing 5th, 6th, and 7th with Bignacco. Then Curtis Racing's Cody Lamas, Jesse Turner, Anthony Marchese, the top 10. Vince Freeze is in 11th. James Shelly 12th. 13th, 14th, and 15th. It is Curtis England and Jeffrey White. Then Joseph Shrigley, Dylan Young, Cole Baker inside the top 20. Jacob Hart and Charles Sanford. Some damage for Matt Rodriguez during pit stops has got him a little bit of damage on the door, but it looks like they buffed that out a little bit. Sean Harple, John Art, Kev Shear, Zayden Davidson, Cal Farrell, Richard Johnson, James Sorfox, Jeff James, and Logan Cloud's a lap down. I guess he's a lap down. Nick Mace is in 30th. And then the 84 of Daniel Bouchard is next. He's in 32nd. With Stephen Paul III and Will Goss. Last cars on the lead lap. With the 56 1 lap down of Logan Cloud. So that is the field for you. And the top 4 have kind of spread out just a little bit. Jake Bassinger, now Dylan Schwellenberg's in second with Capps and Weeks. Top 2 in the championship. 1-2. Bassinger and Shelly doing an outstanding job this season. Schwellenberg, the point leader, going back out front. And Schwallenberg, he hasn't won a race in a while, hasn't he? He's won twice this season. And Dylan Schwallenberg, it'd be great for him to try and put an exclamation point on this season. Schwallenberg won at Bristol. I don't know why I thought he won earlier than that for his 2 victories. Dom Capps has passed Jake Bassinger to get back into 2nd place. We have a long ways to go. Still a lot can happen here at Indianapolis. It's a chess match at high speeds. Oh boy, Dylan Schwallenberg has ran up on lap traffic. Will Goss and Stephen Paul III, they were side by side momentarily, and Schwallenberg found an opening. Goss kind of got out of the way. Goss was in the middle trying to pass Pollard, but Goss lifted and let Dylan Schwallenberg through, and Schwallenberg thought for a moment he was going to be in trouble there. Cody Lamas has since passed all of the CM Racing cars to move his way up into 5th place. Now, the gap between the leader and 5th place is opening up even more. Lap after lap, the leader, Dylan Schwallenberg, is pulling the gap on Cody Lamas and everyone else behind him. So everyone's going to need a caution, I think, to try and run down Dylan Schwallenberg. They're racing hard with each other for 2nd position. Now, John Weeks, this is a good points day for him to try and make up points. However, it would be a good points day if it meant 1st and 2nd in the championship wasn't running 1st and 3rd at the moment. So right now, John Weeks, even though he's running 2nd, is losing points in the championship. And Bassinger nearly dumped him there going into turn 3. Nearly bumper tag at 200 miles an hour heading off into turn 3. You do not want that to happen. And Bassinger and Weeks racing hard with each other is allowing Dylan Schwallenberg to pull the gap. I'm struggling to understand the problem that Zayden Davidson and his team have right now. Davidson and Jeff James, actually, you would think they'd be running a whole lot better than this, but they're running down here in 28th and 29th. And I can't find any reason why they would be off the pace. But for Zayden Davidson, this is a big blow for him. Entering Savannah back for race 9 of the season, Zayden Davidson was 3rd in the championship standings, within a race back of the point lead, and a realistic title contender for the 2022 championship. And, well, he is way down the running order in the championship standings. And he sits a lowly 13th in points. It looks like he could fall even more after this one. As we look even further back, Sean Harpel down here in 22nd position, or actually 21st position. 21st through 24th, Harpel and Silver Fox, United Emirates Racing, you know, they had the pace early on in the season, but that pace has kind of dwindled as it seems. They haven't had any strong runs as of late to suggest that they're race-winning cars. Bristol was the only one where I seen race-winning pace out of UER. That was with James Silverfox that day. But Harpel and Silverfox, you know, they have to get something going, get the ball rolling in their court. And Matthew Rodriguez with slight damage from early in the race on pit road. Rodriguez has not had a good car at all today. And he's trying to get back by Harpel for 21st. Okay, here we go. First round of pit stops. DeMax can make it all the way from here. So it's going to be interesting to see how everyone else pits, but maybe we won't see anybody come down pit road for another 10 to 15 laps. There's no way anybody can make it on fuel from here. Everybody's got to stop at least one time. Dom Capps really struggled to get around lap traffic of Daniel Bouchard and Charlie Smith. That allows Jake Bassinger and Dejon Weeks to get away from Dom Capps. And, well, Capps is going to really struggle to be a contender now to try and win the Indianapolis 250. Weeks and Bassinger trying to chase down Dylan Schwallenberg. DJ Curtis and Samuel England have been climbing their way through the running order. And DJ Curtis is now into 5th, and Samuel England from nowhere is passing Lamas for 6th position. Red Bull Racing have not had the pace all day, but from nowhere on the racetrack, car 82, Samuel England is looking very good. And if a caution flag comes out, all of these guys from Curtis all the way down to Griffin, could be in a shot to win today's race. Despite the damage that the at 93 Shea Benyako Racing team have had to overcome in this race, Kev Shear has kept it on track and right now is in the fight to try and get at least 20 points today. And Cal Farrell on debut. Great Lakes Motorsports is going to get a good bit of points here in the 57, who is also a part-time entry, which that team I don't believe has any ambitions to go full-time with a second car next season, but to hold a charter is a lot of power in the series. Farrell passes John Art, and a lot of questions are around John Art. Art is a talented driver of the series who has just not had fortunes go his way. He won at Road Atlanta last season, so he's a proven race winner, and he's always ran very well in the Sony Cup Series, but a lot of question marks still lies with John Art and the Zaxby's team. DJ Curtis has caught and passed Dom Capps. Capps, who was in 4th place, lost touch with the top 3. Now he is up into 4th place with Jesse Turner, Cody Lamas, Capps in England, all behind Curtis. Oh, Capps is coming down pit road. Completely slipped my mind that pit stops are going to be coming up shortly. With 10 laps to go, when will they pit is the question. Now, Nick Mace just got lapped. Bassinger got around him. Dejon Weeks is in a mess of lap cars. Davidson has pitted. He's got fresher tires. Nick Mace in car 20 is on old tires, but he's holding up Dejon Weeks. Dylan Schwellenberg has about a second of a gap to Jake Bassinger. When's he going to pit? He's coming down pit road. Dylan Schwellenberg coming down pit road. Jake Bassinger's going to take the lead, but Nick Mays has a run and may interfere with Jake Bassinger here. If Dejon Weeks can tuck in behind, he's not going to do that. He's going to follow Jake Bassinger. All the lap cars go to the inside. This is going to be very interesting to watch. Bassinger tries to cut over. Oh my God, what a move. Dejon Weeks kind of messed up that corner. He got in behind Jake Bassinger on the top. I'm not sure why Weeks did that. But Bassinger is going to be ahead of Weeks when he comes down pit road. I'm expecting them to pit this time around. This is for the Indianapolis 250. Weeks is coming to pit road. Bassinger is as well. Nick Mace is too. Weeks needs to tuck in right behind Bassinger. Now here comes Lamas. Jesse Turner too. England, Benyako. Ryan Griffin stays out. Dom Capps does too. With only a few laps to go. Who is going to win the Indy 250? This is going to be decided off pit strategy. The point leader, Dylan Schwellenberg, trying to use lessons that he's learned through the Hardee's National Series to win his first Sony Cup Series title. Oh, look at that move! Look at Dejon! Dejon on the access road, passing Bassinger. Oh my God! I'm gonna have to get a replay of that. Did Bassinger have a problem? I don't know, but it looked like it spooked Bassinger or something. Dejon Weeks round the outside, just gets back into second position, but he has a huge gap to make up on Dylan Schwellenberg. Here was the pit road exit. You know, the leader, or well, the leader, eventual leader, Dylan Schwellenberg is going to make the pass on the outside. But Weeks, very smart move. Knew he didn't have to follow Bassinger. Just goes right around him. Blasted right around the outside of Jake Bassinger. Very smart driving by the 30 of Dejon Weeks. With 6 laps to go, Dylan Schwellenberg has a 2.7 margin on Dejon Weeks. And well, it's going to be very difficult to be able to make up that ground. You see it right there. It will take a miracle at this point for Weeks to run down the 10 and to snatch victory. But for Jake Bassinger, a costly mistake to keep Dejon Weeks behind him. It may even allow Cody Lamas and DJ Curtis to get right to the back end of the 97 to try and challenge to get on the podium. This is the top 5. And then for 6th place, Jesse Turner passing Capps. And then 8th place, Samuel England 9th is Alex Pagnaco, and 10th is Ryan Griffin. With 5 to go now, the gap is closing little by little, but lap car Nick Mace just in the way of Dejon Weeks, coming to take 2 laps to go. Dylan Schwellenberg has been drafting off of Zayden Davidson. He's now going by him. And Dejon Weeks, he's been trying, but he has nobody to draft off of in front of him. And time is just simply running out for Dejon Weeks. For Dylan Schwellenberg, his career is well known. In 2017, Schwellenberg joined the FBRL, going in the Hardee's National Series with Curtis Racing, winning the championship in his rookie year. We knew he was an extreme talent from the get-go when he won the championship in the Hardee's National Series in his rookie season. The white flag displayed for Dylan Schwellenberg here at the Indianapolis 250. Schwellenberg moved from Curtis Racing to go in the Cup Series with them. By 2019, Schwellenberg went to Yamp Motorsports. He had the likes of Jordan Davis, Dejon Weeks, Dylan Young, experienced drivers to lean off of and learn from in the Sony Cup Series, eventually winning with Yamp Motorsports. When Eric DeMax moved on from Rodriguez Racing, Schwellenberg filled the void. 2021, he was the runner-up to Jesse Turner in a dominant season. He's carried that momentum on into 2022. Now the championship leader, he's going to extend the margin of the championship by winning the Indianapolis 250. Dylan Schwellenberg wins the Indianapolis 250 in a dominant fashion, leading the most laps. Dejon Weeks was closing the margin in the last couple of laps, but just ran out of time. We knew from his rookie year in Hardee's to when he came up the ranks in the Sony Cup Series that Dylan Schwellenberg was one of the best to join the FBRL. Probably top 10 drivers ever in the Sony Cup Series, just on raw pace and talent. He is just, from the moment go when he was signed, has always been on it and so good. Since joining Rodriguez Racing, Dylan Schwellenberg has been so good. In the 2021 season, after replacing Eric DeMax, who had a very good 2020 season, Schwellenberg finished 29 of the 30 race season. Kept his nose clean and was ultra consistent. And he kept that consistency up into 2022. And now with the 3rd win of the season for Schwellenberg, he extends the championship margin to 17 points over Jake Bassinger, 18 points over DJ Curtis. Dejon Weeks, well, he finished 2nd today, needed a good race. I think he entered 62 points back, and he's going to leave 67 back, I believe. Well, it would have been a good points day after a bad one last week for Weeks, but you can't make up any points if the winner is the championship leader. And Schwellenberg's putting it on right now. You know, he won at Bristol, and now he's a winner again here at Indianapolis. 3 wins on the board. That ties James Shelly with the most wins of the 2022 season. The podium is Schwellenberg, Weeks, and Lamas. That's a strong podium. And Lamas, that's his 3rd top 5 of the season. Ultimately, he just loses points today. He's now going to be 57 points back to Schwellenberg as we head to Watkins Glen. DJ Curtis finishes 4th, loses points. Same with Jake Bassing. Everybody does, at least. But a very good top 5. That is a strong top 5 of drivers, doing everything they could. Jesse Turner, the defending champion, finishing 6th today. Dom Capps could have had a chance to win, but he lost touch with the front runners and ultimately had to settle with 7th place. A good run for Martin Motorsports in the top 10. Samuel England came from nowhere in the second half of the race. He got a top 10 for Red Bull. And then for CM Racing, I don't know where Eric DeMax finished, but he was up there, and well, the strategy didn't ultimately pay out for him. but it's Alex Benyako and Ryan Griffin making up the top 10. Well, that was Indianapolis. Dylan Schwellenberg laid it on him at the end and didn't let off. And, well, he's showing why he is the ultimate threat moving forward in the final 10 races of the 2022 season, for why he could be the best chance, the best driver with the best chance to win the championship for 2022. Still a long ways to go. For as long as you're within 100 points, I think it's still reasonable to make up ground. Obviously, as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, it's going to be much harder to believe that somebody 100 points back can still come back. But as long as you're within 100 points, I think it's still doable. But, man, you have to be able to keep up with that 10 car and the 97 and the 19, because they are on another level at this point in the season, with all of them finishing in the top 5. And, well, Weeks and Lums look very good. But as for the rest, like Matthew Rodriguez, who was very off today, is going to have to show something for Watkins Glen, who was the winner last year. All right, so that is all for Indianapolis, and I will see you next time out for Watkins Glen. Feel free to join the Discord down below to follow all the news of Sony Cup Series related news. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.